Well, hey there. I appreciate you guys all being available for our webinar this afternoon. Um, my name's Steve Jones. I'm a physician in Graham, Texas, and I have a Revive Longevity Center. Today, we're going to be talking about how to restore your hormones in 60 days without shots, even if you've tried everything. So, first of all, I'd just like to introduce myself. I think I know a lot of you who may be listening, but for those who don't, my name is Steve Jones. Graham is a small town in north central Texas. I've been here for about 22 years. I'm one of the members of Graham Medical Associates. We call it GMA Health. And this group has been here doing kind of cradle to the grave care for probably 40 or 50 years if you go back in our history. Um, it's a fun place to practice. I've kind of done it all in Graham. At one point, I delivered babies, taking care of lots of newborns in the nursery. I'm also a nursing home medical director and a hospice medical director. I have a clinic where we take care of lots of patients every day, and it's been a really fun place to practice. My whole time that I've been practicing medicine, though, I kind of felt this pull towards something different. I spend so much time taking care of people who are sick, who have diabetes or high blood pressure. And maybe years later, they start to develop other diseases because of those problems. So now they've got heart disease or they've got kidney problems. And taking care of health issues like that or health problems is rewarding and it's a big part of my job. But I've always had this pull towards wellness. I've always wondered, how can we grow older without feeling older? How can we keep our bodies healthy and strong and feeling younger, right? Um, Long time ago, I looked for this in sports medicine. I thought that might be the avenue that could deliver me these kinds of opportunities. Sports medicine is a lot of fun. I've been the sideline doctor at the local high school for years and years. I really enjoy that aspect of getting to be an active member in the community. But it really wasn't hitting what I was longing for because I didn't know it, but I was searching for my passion project, right? And I didn't figure this out till about 4 years ago that what I was looking for was the field of wellness and longevity. And man, once I figured it out, it was like a light bulb went off. I think a lot of me discovering this was because I was approaching my 50th birthday. And so that got me really motivated and very interested. This led to me starting a new company, Revive Longevity Center. I started it in 2023. It's currently part of my regular practice here at the clinic, but it's kind of rapidly becoming its own thing. It's a concierge practice, and when my clients join with Revive, they receive special treatments that are not normally available. Our focus really isn't on trying to live forever, obviously. Lifespan is something that we think about, but the term that I've kind of grown to use is health span because we don't want to just be old. We want to be able to have good health for a long time. So focusing on a health span, I think gives us different direction and makes us choose differently as opposed to having a long lifespan. And over the last couple of years, I've started to understand more and more about what really plays a big role in our aging process and what's going to lead to a really robust health span. And that led me to understand what hormones do and how they play such a big role in our aging process. So that brings me to my wife. And there she is. This is a picture of my wife, Christy, and I in June of 2023 at our daughter's wedding. It's a great day. If you've had children get married, you understand what an important event that is in their life and in the life of your family unit. Our family is such an important part of who we are, and we love them so much. Um, Let me tell y'all something though. 4 months before this picture was taken, my sweet wife, she grabbed me by my collar when I came home from work one evening. She looked me in the eyes and said, "If you don't fix my hormones, I'm going to kill you." Look, y'all, I kind of halfway believed her. She was struggling. Leading up to this wedding, she was going through perimenopause. And while planning this event with our daughter, which Christy was so happy to be doing, she was struggling to feel happy. She was struggling to have energy to keep up with all the scheduling. She was really just working hard to keep herself together. You know what I mean? She was suffering from other symptoms of perimenopause too. She would wake up in the middle of the night with a hot flash, night sweats, ripping the covers off. Her sheets were soaked on her side of the bed. And then there was the mood irritability. I mean, I walked on eggshells. She grabbed me by my collar that afternoon, right? So I knew she was not feeling good. And then the sleepless nights were really struggling. She was really struggling with. So of all this stuff, though, kind of the thing that might have bothered her the most. Yeah, Christy, she struggled to remember. And that was a big issue for her. She told me one time she went to the grocery store and sat out in the parking lot and couldn't remember why she was there. And then she would sit at the parking lot fighting to get the anxiety under control so that she could go in and just face the people up and down the aisles. Um, by the age 20, our sex hormones are at their peak. This is for men and women. And every single year thereafter, our hormones go down just a little bit. So by the time we are in our late 20s, early 30s, a lot of women are start to feel this brain fog. They have a hard time remembering. We call it mom brain. We joke about it with different things, but it's a real problem, and it's because progesterone is starting to go down. And since progesterone balances your estrogen levels, that imbalance causes an irritability. And a lot of clients will come to me and just tell me that they feel like they're going crazy. They can't remember things. They don't know why they're acting the way that they do. And it's because there's an imbalance of what's going on in their body. So they're developing irritability, night sweats, and insomnia. And then by the time a woman's periods start to space out, there's not enough estrogen coming from the ovaries anymore to ovulate regularly. So periods are missed, they're irregular, there might be some spotting in between cycles. These are kind of the way that we see the timeline go. Hormones start to go down in your 20s. By the time you're in your 30s, it's probably best to start replenishing. Certainly in the 40s, whenever symptoms are kicking in, the perimenopause symptoms, most women are really looking for some relief. I'm often asked, like, when should I start replenishing my hormones? And the right answer is start as soon as you have symptoms. But a lot of people come to me and they're in their 50s and haven't had a period in 3 or 4 years. And they're like, well, is it too late? And the answer is no. The second best time to start hormones is today, right? Like if you can't go back in time and start them 10 years ago, then maybe we ought to get that done right now. So some interesting facts about hormone replacement therapy. And in particular, I want to focus today on bioidentical HRT. So BHRT, or bioidentical hormone replacement therapy, is referring to using natural products to manage a woman's hormones. And the hormones we're focusing on are the estrogens, progesterone, testosterone, and DHEA. So bioidentical hormones, when we say they're bioidentical, it means that those compounds have the exact same chemical structure as hormones naturally produced by the human body. So, because of that, they seamlessly integrate into your normal hormonal pathways. They bind the hormone receptors just like naturally occurring hormones would do. It's pretty cool that these hormones are grown in plants, commonly in yams. And whether they're grown in plants, normally occurring enzymes that affect the way these hormones are developed can be manipulated so that an identical product to the hormones that we would normally produce can be produced for our treatment. One of the cool things about bioidentical hormones is that we can individually tailor for each patient and her specific needs a treatment plan that'll work just for her. So this isn't a one size fits all approach. It allows us to help our patients optimize treatment while minimizing potential side effects because we can dose in really specifically based on a woman's age, stage of life, how far they are in the menopause, and what their ovaries are doing. So it's interesting that there's some critics of bioidentical HRT out there. It seems that most of their concerns lie in this perceived limitation of the scientific evidence that shows that bioidenticals are superior to traditional HRT. And I would probably concede that I don't want to say that these are superior, but I certainly don't think they're inferior. And it seems like more and more women have a preference towards them because the results tend to be so good. Another concern exists over quality control, the lack of regulation of the compounding pharmacies. And all of this stuff is really interesting given all of the information and the research that's been done around the subject of bioidentical hormones, compounded medications in general. Because these studies tout that customized approaches are preferred by most women. If we can get a person's symptoms and their hormones balanced out at a lower dose today with the ability to increase the dose as time goes on and normal ovarian production goes down, it makes a lot of sense and we get really good results when we do that. The literature also points to the safety and efficacy of bioidenticals. Efficacy means that the medicine does what it's supposed to do, right? So remember that these these structures are that you're using with bioidenticals, they're identical to what your body would normally make. So safety is really paramount whenever we're using these because they're not synthetically made. They're not obtained from other animal sources either. Compounding pharmacies themselves have a whole new set of regulations and quality controls. These went into effect last year. It's also important to know where you're getting your medicines compounded at. The pharmacy that we use is exceptionally good. They're one of the largest in the US, and they make the medicine that we use and have done a really fantastic job of keeping quality high and cost low. And remember that when we keep our hormones balanced, our body is healthier from top to bottom. And so that keeps stress and inflammation from wearing out our cardiovascular system. So cardiovascular health is benefited whenever we maintain hormonal balance. And that is a really easy thing to do whenever you're using symptom management as one of your key indicators. Because when we can manage symptoms with fewer side effects, that's overall better symptom management with bioidenticals. If you're interested in more research type of stuff, or if you wanted some more data or something to read, please reach out to us. My mentor is Dr. David Rosensweet. He's been doing hormones and a holistic provider for a few decades. He's actually a little bit further along in his career than I am even. But Dr. Rosensweet is my mentor. He's an educator. He's my teacher. He's a national speaker for the A4M. He presents at Congress. He'll go and talk at congressional hearings about the importance of bioidentical hormones and compounded medicines in general. Well, he wrote a book. It's called Happy, Healthy Hormones. It's really well written. It goes through lots of the details and helps to point out why we feel like hormone replacement is not only safe, but it's safer than not using it. And so if you want some more information, let me know. I can get you a free digital copy of that book. Dr. Rosensweet was kind enough to allow me to do that. He said he would love to educate more and more people all along. So if you're interested in that, let me know. Because menopause is tough and it starts off and we say, hey, we're fine, we'll be okay. And then the brain fog and the mood swings kick in, and then the bladder infections, and then insomnia. Just keep pushing through, right? And then you hear it's going to last for a decade. and we ain't having none of that. A few tips. I've got a long list here. I'm just going to kind of make some points on a couple of them. Uh, One of the important things to know is that bioidentical hormone replacement is available from any provider that wants to do it. The hard part about it is that you need some experience to be able to do this well. I'll confess, I was an amateur when I started getting into this about 4 or 5 years ago. I really didn't know what I was doing, and I needed more education and experience. Now that I've received that from Dr. Rosensweet, I'm so much better at doing this job. So my advice is to use somebody who really does lots of bioidentical hormones if you're going to go this route. And once you start going, know that it takes time. It takes some commitment. This isn't a thing that's going to like you take a medicine for 2 or 3 days and voila, you're feeling better. It may take 2 or 3 months to get this dialed in. Side effects like breast tenderness, bloating, mood changes, and headaches can occur whenever you're doing hormonal treatment. And it's important to start with low doses and proceed through them slowly so that as these side effects happen, you can talk to your provider about it and you can adjust the dosing. Remember, that's one of the great things about using bioidenticals is that you can dose adjust based on how you're responding to it. So you can keep your risk down. Remember that no treatment is without its own set of risk, and one person to the next is going to have a different set of risk factors. It's important to sit down with your provider, talk about your personal history, your family medical history. If there's a history of breast cancer, blood clots, heart disease, those things need to be discussed in the overall picture of health, wellness, and health span. And once we do those things, then we can focus in on the options for hormones and understand the risks and benefits a little bit better. But it's very individualized. I would be remiss if I didn't talk about lifestyle. Look, sleep, nutrition, exercise, stress management, and having a supportive community. Those are the pillars of a lifestyle that's going to lend itself towards a wonderful health span. So if we're focusing on hormones, but we're forgetting about all the other stuff, it's not going to turn out well. All of these things are the foundation of what a good, healthy health span is going to look like. And remember that if you're working with an expert in hormones, they're going to help you stay up to date with the latest information and help you adjust your treatment at just the right time.
Oh my god. 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 Oh my god.
Look, it may be wrong to say, but I'm just so glad that I don't have to go through menopause. I feel so strongly in being able to help women, mostly because of what I've seen my wife and then now many clients go through. See the benefit that this can bring to people, and OMG, we don't have to put up with all that stuff. So it's nice to have something to be able to treat people with. I wanted to talk about the top 5 questions that I'm asked whenever I'm doing consultations with patients. The first is bioidentical hormone replacement therapy safer than traditional hormone replacement therapy? And the answer is, I truly believe that they are both safe. Now, I do think that bioidenticals have an advantage because remember, they're offered in a compound that is identical to the hormones produced by our bodies, right? So traditional HRT is commonly going to be either medicine derived from synthetic processes or obtained from pregnant mares. That's right. They take pregnant horses and they take their urine and they isolate from that estradiol and they put that into a tablet form. Second question that comes up a lot is what are the risks or side effects associated with bioidentical hormone replacement therapy? And I think when women are asking me this question, they're usually kind of hitting at one of two big issues. The first is this going to increase my risk for breast cancer? And so you can look at study after study. It's very clear that women who are taking HRT have fewer cases of breast cancer than women that do not take HRT. So it's very difficult to say that HRT causes cancer whenever the numbers are lower in that subgroup. The second thing is that women are typically wondering about what it's going to do for their risk for heart disease. And it's a similar answer. Women on HRT have fewer heart attacks than women that don't take HRT. Remember that individual discussions with your provider are so important. We have to sit down and talk about the risk factors, the family history, and work through the pros and cons of it all. Also remember that side effects, since we're able to dose adjust with bioidenticals, they're almost always remedied by making adjustments in that dosing. Okay, next question I want to look at is what are the long-term implications of bioidentical HRT on overall health and well-being? And look, I think this to me is the biggest selling point. It's why I'm so excited to offer this, because bioidentical it's important to our body and beneficial to our bodies in so many ways. First of all, it improves bone density. It helps to strengthen your muscles. We know that it improves cardiovascular health, right? We talked about that earlier. It boosts your immune system. It protects your cognitive functioning, helps with the brain fog, right? And then it increases your metabolism. There are so many other things that it can do too. And this turns into issues like I'm sleeping better at night. And it turns into, man, I really haven't noticed any benefits at the gym in the last 5 years. Now that I'm on hormones, I've got more energy, I'm losing weight, I've built muscle, I'm able to finish a 5K without walking, and I couldn't do that before. Those are the things that I hear people tell me after they've been on their HRT for a little while. The next question is, what are the common bioidentical hormone options that are currently available? So the delivery methods are topical, which is going to be oils, creams, and gels. The product that I use is the hormones blended in a topical oil. It's an organic oil called jojoba oil. And it's really great because it's natural, it's organic, it soaks into the skin really well. It doesn't have any chemicals. When you're using creams and gels, they have to put some type of a chemical, some type of an alcohol-based chemical in the cream or the gel to get the medicine to soak into the skin. So all of them are going to have something that's along the line of antifreeze, and that's what helps to drive the medicine into the skin. Small doses of that, a little bit at a time, is not a big deal. If you're going to do that for the next 10 or 20 or 30 years, I think those things add up, and we're all aware of toxins in the environment, and we're trying to watch out for those. The second thing that people will use are pellets. Uh, Even at our clinic, we use a product called BioT, and it's a little small pellet that's placed underneath the skin. Whenever that bioidentical hormone is then under the skin, it slowly dissolves. What it does is it ramps up a high level of hormones, and for women, that's going to be testosterone and estrogen, and then that slowly comes down over time. Some people do really, really well with this, and they get great benefit from it. I'm a fan of pellets. But for some people, and this happened with my wife in particular, it was too much. Like that initial dose was so much hormone, it gave a lot of side effects. And so if we can find a way that will balance out our hormones without huge peaks or spikes in blood levels, that would be better. Dissolving tablets are another option. There are some out there. I have prescribed those to patients. I haven't found them to be very useful. It's hard to get all of that medicine to absorb sublingually. And we all know that if you swallow it, it's not going to do a great job going through the liver and coming out in a bioavailable form. And so, because of that, I really prefer the topical delivery methods, and oils have been what I've chosen to go with. Last question here is, what is the evidence supporting the use of bioidentical hormone replacement therapy? And first of all, I just want to point out that BioHRT has been around for decades. It has a strong track record of safety and patient satisfaction. There's a large and growing list of scientific studies that back its effectiveness and its safety. And remember, if you're interested in more information, please reach out. I would be happy to provide you with a digital copy of Dr. Rosensweet's book, Happy Healthy Hormones.
Have you fixed the damn clicker yet? What good is a clicker if it won't click?
Is there anything else to eat?
I don't give a good gosh darn what you eat.
Oh, geez, honey, I'm sorry.
Get out! Don't panic. You know what to do. I may have been a little irrational today.
A little?
Shut up!
Had to give a shout out to my daughter Claire. She helps me manage all of the social media, and she came up with the TikToks and helped me with these slides today. And it's hard for me to find those kind of things. And I think she did a fantastic job of really kind of hitting some of the humorous parts of perimenopause and the symptoms that women have to deal with. And the treatment that we're trying to offer, of course, is just to offset some of that. And then also lend itself to helping us grow older and stronger as time goes by. Got a couple of testimonials. I'll let you read these yourself. Becky and Shanna are both patients of mine for many, many years. They're actually both nurses. One works with me and the other one I work with in a hospice setting. I've just been super thankful for them being willing to kind of be guinea pigs early on whenever I was starting this program. Man, their results have been fantastic, almost as robust as the results that my own wife has achieved. And so thankful that they were willing to kind of share a little bit of their experience here. The program that we use here at Revive Longevity Center involves these hormones from a compounding pharmacy called Bright, B-R-I-T-E. And you can see the vials right there. The small vials have hormones in them. These are actually my wife's vials. On the left is her testosterone and DHEA. You see the lid on it, you unscrew that lid, and on the top of it is a little plastic cap. And you take that small needleless syringe and pop it into the top of that cap, and you can withdraw the medicine that you're going to apply to the skin. So the bottle on the right is Christy's estrogen, and so she'll put that on her forearms and rub her forearms together like this to get the oil to soak in. She does that morning and night. At nighttime, she'll put on progesterone, and that gets rubbed into the inner thigh area. It really helps a woman sleep at night. If some of those racing thoughts and anxiety and why won't my brain turn off or issues, this helps with that a lot. The testosterone comes with DHEA in it also. Those are two androgens. They're very helpful for energy, strength, bone density. I have my ladies put that oil on the rib cage every morning. It's a once a day application. So remember, these are bioidentical hormones. It's in jojoba oil. It's a natural organic oil. There's no solvents or extra chemicals in this at all. These are applied every day. And by applying them every day, you're going to get steady, consistent hormone levels and not have to worry about spikes that come with pellets, spikes that come with shots, and the like. And I've been very impressed with the steady hormone levels that we can achieve with women, but more importantly, with the symptom management that we're able to help them enjoy. So these are customized to each patient individually. We charge a monthly fee for managing all of this, and that fee includes the topical oils. And so these are, of course, prescriptions. These aren't things that you can get like just from an oil seller. This is real medicine that's just compounded into the topical oil. Instead of doing blood work, the program that I follow ascribes to doing urine testing for women's hormone levels. And by looking at not only the hormone levels, but the metabolites that are produced by the body from the hormones that we're giving, we can make sure that everything is, number one, staying in balance. But number two, that we're not starting to see some increase in levels of certain metabolites that might be harmful to a woman. So managing long-term side effects and long-term risk is really important here. 24-hour urine collections, which are done at least once per year, are a very important part of that. Those things are not cheap, oh my goodness, but they're really, really helpful. And that is covered in the cost of the program. Expert management, we've talked about that. I'm a graduate of the Institute of Bioidentical Medicine. That's the program that Dr. Rosensweet teaches. I've got a nurse practitioner, Josh West, who is also a graduate of that program, and he helps me manage my clients on the hormone replacement. You also get access to a health coach. Health coaching is important when we're looking at maintaining a great health span for the decades to come, right? And so watching out for nutrition and sleep and exercise, all of those are just as important, maybe even more important, is to managing your hormones well. Of course, you also are going to have great support. I've got a wonderful staff and team. We give access to support around the clock, weekends included. There's a messaging app that you can use to get